SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Running a business is tough. If you're struggling with HR, benefits, and payroll, you're not alone. Many businesses just don't have the resources to keep up. That's where MWG Employer Services comes in. We provide a full range of employer services with everything from payroll to benefits to HR services and compliance, and can create a custom plan that fits your needs and budget. We're a Mississippi-based company that can help you focus on what you do best, growing your business. Call MWG Employer Services today at 601-206-7966 or go to MWGEmployerServices.com. You're listening to Sports Talk Mississippi On Demand, presented by Pearl River Resort. Escape to Choctaw, Mississippi and enjoy world-class gaming, the Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, and Geyser Falls Water Park. Escape to Pearl River Resort.
Sports Talk Mississippi is on the air. Sports Talk Mississippi is powered by C Spire. Power your home or business with C Spire Fiber. To learn more, visit supertalk.fm/C Spire. C Spire Fiber powers SuperTalk Mississippi. To the junction, in the Grove, and to the top. This is Sports Talk Mississippi. On your radio and in the game, right here on Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome in, Sports Talk Mississippi. The bracket has been revealed. Now, less exciting this year for us in the state of Mississippi than last year, but March Madness is here nonetheless, and Auburn got snubbed, so it wasn't the worst selection Sunday in the world. The committee got it right, and not even an anti-Auburn thing.
No, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far.
But they had no business getting in. The committee got it right. Miami belonged. They went undefeated in the regular season. We'll talk about a lot of that, hopefully, and more. We might run out of time today because we got three coaches, as always, to talk about quite frankly, the unfortunate weekend across college baseball. All three teams went on the road. All three teams did take one, but all lost the series. We'll talk about that. We'll do winners and losers. We got a college football fix. Ask and you shall receive. The first message we got on the show today. If you're not going to do a spring game, you got to do something for fans. And guess what? You are being delivered for, at least Ole Miss fans anyway. I haven't seen a release from State fans, but we know what the spring game is going to be. Not a game at all for Ole Miss, but still fan-friendly, which is a great thing, and we talk about it often. I'm Michael Borkey. He's Brian Hadad. Richard Cross with us today as well. So glad you guys are with us on a busy Monday.
Which one of us is going to talk?
You got to do the thing.
Pay
the bills, Hadad.
I like to let him jump in, sometimes, but that's fine. That's fine. We are in the Pearl River Resort Studios. Now, let me tell you, this weekend would have been a great time to play 18 holes at Dancing Rabbit. Today, not so much. But this weekend coming up, guess what? Great time to play 18 holes at Dancing Rabbit. So don't play today, but play this weekend. Book your stay, book your tee times, do it all at PearlRiverResort.com. C Spire text line is open to you at 601-879-4395. Your team has you covered on the field. C Spire has you covered everywhere else with the best technology for home, work, and on. Backed by local 24/7 customer support. Learn more at cspire.com. C Spire, inspired by you. Hey, Richard.
What's up, boys?
Oh, hi there, Richard.
Howdy.
It's good to have you back.
Thank you. Good to be here. I missed you guys 2 weeks ago. I did not miss you last week.
I don't know how to take that.
That's right. You were on vacation. I was like, what?
Yeah. Last week was spring break, trip with family, whatever. The week before, I don't even remember what was going on, but something was, and I think it was work-related. So I missed you then. But last week, not so. We were in Colorado. At no point in Colorado did it feel as cold as it feels today. The wind today is howling.
Did you get some snow?
It might have spit a little. It looked like it snowed a little in Starkville this morning.
I got a few flakes here and there this morning.
We got a little bit this morning.
I walked outside. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I was in shorts and a T-shirt cooking out yesterday. What are we doing here?
Same.
But it is what it is. Oh, yeah,
shorts and a
you showed
t-shirt
me the
cooking out
fruits
last
of your
night.
labor. You did good yesterday. Good stuff.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. My man Greg was good to me yesterday.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
He knows how to take care of you.
Yeah, Australian Wagyu Terrace Major.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Yeah.
That sounds like an oil and gas company that's somehow funneling money to LSU football.
It's like, you guys watch Landman, it's like
Joe
CCT,
Thibodeau, the CEO of Terrace Major.
Yeah. CCT, oil, exploration, and cattle.
There you
Laundering.
Yeah, no, that was great.
Somehow. Oh, somebody also says USA Baseball. That was pretty intense last night. Questionable call to end the game. But what is wrong with sports media in this country? It's nuts to me. Jeff Passan writes this long thing about how it was a travesty that the game ended that way and all this stuff. And what are we? And about how Venezuela and the Dominican Republic, their teams are just so much more likable than the American teams. What do we do? What are you guys doing? Do you enjoy anything about where you live and what you do for a living in the country in which you live?
As I say, first things first, we won. We won.
We did win.
We didn't lose on a controversial called third strike. We won. I don't know that it's nearly as controversial as everybody is making it out to be. The screenshot that exists with K-Zone clearly has it a couple of inches below the bottom of the strike zone. It's where it was caught. It's not where the ball crossed the front of the plate.
And the guy's got one of the most wicked sliders you've ever seen in your life that doesn't start dropping out until basically it gets to the plate.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. But we saw this with hockey. It's less so in baseball, but it's like we've got this discourse that, the Venezuelans look like they're having more fun. They're more likable. I don't care. I don't like them at all in this tournament. I'm sure they're wonderful men, aside from that. I don't wish them harm of any kind. But, I'm so sorry.
I don't like Venezuela. That's why I bombed them. I don't like them at all.
And then Roman Anthony gives great quotes after the game on the set with the guys at Fox about former Ole Miss Rebel Roman Anthony.
Might he have made a difference?
You think? But he just, listening to him, how is he not likable? What don't you like about him? Because he doesn't dance? He's not doing stupid bat flips? He just plays ball like a good dude should? I don't know. It's ridiculous. But yeah, that was intense last night.
Yeah.
2-1 game, starting at the fourth inning on?
Just great.
Just
World
high
Baseball
leverage after
Classic's
high
been
leverage? Awesome. Yeah.
I'm glad the United States made it past the math error of Mark DeRosa.
That was rough. That was rough.
Jeff Hadad knows that this bothers me too. We can't play a home game in this country either. It wasn't a home game last night. World Baseball Classic being played in America, and the American team was playing in front of a road crowd. Happens in soccer all the time. Drives me nuts.
What was it, 50-50-ish last
Something
night?
like that.
Yeah.
I hate that too. But it's been a lot of fun. The highest attended World Baseball Classic it's ever had, and the attendance keeps going up every year for all games. The ratings are going up. This final, it would have been a lot bigger if it was Japan. But, the final number is going to be huge. They've really, here we go, guys, ready? They really hit a home run with the World Baseball Classic.
It's been slow, steady growth. Like the World Baseball Classic had its, you're an adult moment the last time it was played when you had Mike Trout,
Ohtani Trout
and
thing,
Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani got the better of him in that moment. But I think because of that and the buzz that went with it, you fast forward a couple of years and there are people that are excited about it and players that seem to be some of the Aaron Judge quotes after this just outstanding about the
Who knew we had
the
Judge on the
environment,
roster
pressure.
for his defense, by the way? I didn't know that. But apparently that's a thing.
Yeah. Well, in case you didn't know, he's got a pretty big arm out there in right field.
It's preposterous.
Through a seed. Just a pellet. It's craziness.
That might have been the play of the game.
It
outside
was,
of Roman Anthony's home run.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It was really
That
good
dude's
stuff.
21 years old, by the way. Roman Anthony.
Well, yeah.
He's 21 years old. Superstar. It's a shame he's a Red Sox, but, he couldn't help that, right? That's not his fault. He didn't choose that
He
life.
didn't
That life chose him.
They chose him, yeah. That's right.
Would he be a junior at Ole Miss this year?
Well, if he's 21, yeah.
Or would he have been draft eligible last year?
Well, it depends when he turned 21, right? If he turned 21 in June of last year. Like, when's his birthday?
June 9th, 2025 is when he turned 21.
He would have been out.
Yeah.
He would have been on last year's team.
Probably don't lose to Murray State with Roman Anthony on
He might have made a difference. Might have made a difference for you.
So if you turn 21 before the draft.
Before the draft, right? Isn't that right? I think that's right.
I can't ever remember.
I don't know all the silly rules.
Yeah. Committed to play baseball at Ole Miss after his sophomore year at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. The Broward County 7A Player of the Year.
Wait, was he in high school during the...
I don't know. I did not go back far enough, like, in my mental... I don't remember the date of when that happened.
I didn't know that about him, and I'm surprised that...
Yeah.
We did a whole thing last week about the players that, you know, what could have been or what should have been with certain players, and it was because he hit the home run last week, and he should have gone to Ole Miss, and we went through that. And so, I mean, I had his bio up in front of me. I didn't even put 1 and 2 together there.
Yeah.
Happened in 2018.
So he would have been there.
Yeah, he would have been there.
Wow.
That's craziness, yeah.
It really is. Really is.
That's been fun. Hadad had a cool wrestle. I mean, this weekend was great. The players was awesome. Aside from the baseball results here in this state, the sports
are cool.
Was really cool.
Don't know what to tell you.
We'll be right back. We'll keep talking about them in the Pearl River Resort studio.
From the Venable Glove.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
Introducing to you
Sports Talk Mississippi.
One thing we didn't mention was the SEC basketball tournament. Ole Miss won 3 games in 3 days. They beat Alabama, got to the semifinal, came up just short. People are upset about officiating and a call that maybe they should have gotten. And what I said on the podcast last night was twofold. One, you know, the team shouldn't have been in the position to have to win 5 games in 5 games in 5 days to make the tournament. And so it's on them that they needed that in order to play meaningful basketball this coming weekend. And also, I have no counter-argument. You should have gotten one call in particular should have gone your way, and it did not. And that was probably the difference in winning and losing.
Yeah, when AJ, well, I mean, he's got to make the free throw also, but the way he played in the second half of that game, you feel like he would have. Yeah, he got fouled on that. But I will say this about the officials. If you watched the SEC tournament over the course of 4 or 5 days, they let them play. It was a physical SEC tournament. And I'm not necessarily going to bat for the officials here. I think it was pretty clearly a foul. You've seen guys get whistles on open lanes to the rim. By the way, terrible defense by Arkansas in that particular moment. But yeah, he got fouled. And if he gets the free throw with 1.1 second remaining, then you probably have a chance to win an SEC title and get in the big dance yesterday.
Yeah. So
I thought, Ole Miss played really well against Vanderbilt twice this year.
Mm-hmm. I will take all of y'all's word for this.
How much SEC tournament did you watch after Wednesday? Zero.
Not a dribble.
I didn't watch yesterday. The players was too awesome to miss out on that. But it's hard to kind of figure out what to take away from the tournament, because you've got one side that's doing this, what a historic run, Cinderella, and that I'd never bought into that part, because number one, it's only historic because 15 seeds have been a thing in the SEC tournament for 2 years. It's not like they did something for the first time in 3 decades.
Well, they would have been what? in the old tournament, they would have been what? The 13 seed?
I guess.
Yeah.
But like the first 15 seed to do, well, because they're the second 15 seed ever in the conference tournament because they just got 15 seeds. And then also the concept of Cinderella falls flat to me when you've got a top 10 in the country paid head coach who's making more money than national championship winners. You're not a Cinderella when you pour the resources into your program that you do, and also it's the conference tournament, not the NCAA tournament. You're not St. Peter's with peacocks literally roaming your campus that nobody's ever heard of until now. You're a big-time program. That's very, like, never lost the party energy. Oh, so proud. The team had 3 wins that were, from a basketball perspective, utterly meaningless, empty calories. They didn't make the tournament with that run. They didn't improve their seeding. They didn't get on the bubble when they weren't. Nothing happened, really. But I do think winning those 3 games kind of reignited the feeling within the fan base that, hey, March basketball is fun. And it's worth investing in. And it's worth getting behind. And having teams that play meaningful games in this month is worth buying into. If they'd have just lost on Wednesday, the off season in basketball and going into next year, nobody would have talked about it really at all. Now I think you've kind of relit the pilot light a little bit with your fan base of reminding them, hey, there is a foundation there that you can build on. There's players that you're going to keep that can win games, and it's worth buying back into because look at what the SEC, how much fun the SEC tournament is. And 12 months ago, you were making a run to the Sweet 16. Don't give up on that yet.
Yeah, this falls into your 2 things can be true category.
Yeah.
The season for Ole Miss and for Mississippi State was a massive disappointment. The run in Nashville was fun. And you don't have to not have fun just because you have a bad season. It's very, very rare to see a double-digit seed make that kind of a run in the NCAA or in the SEC tournament. I think the last year it happened was, 2008 when Georgia made the run after the tornado?
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
Won the SEC tournament in Georgia Tech's gym in front of like 150 people. And then they got into the big dance, and it was fun when Georgia did that. And you could say, well, they really didn't deserve to be in the tournament. Well, no, they didn't based on the regular season results, but this is how we award an automatic bid, and you had a chance to do that. And I don't know. I mean, would Ole Miss have beaten Vanderbilt yesterday? They would have loved the chance.
Man, the way they were playing.
And that was a close game in the regular season, was it not?
Both times.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Both times. So
I would have said, if you had asked me, if Ole Miss could have gotten to the championship game in that situation, I would have said they probably finished the job.
That same thing. If they would have gotten past Arkansas, I think they would have won on Sunday.
Yeah.
But alas,
what does it mean about for the roster? Like in terms of reinvesting in some of the pieces on your roster?
I think priorities 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are Patton Pinkins and also Patton Pinkins and making sure that you keep Patton Pinkins on your roster. I think that is get him. I think Comardine, he's got another year if he wants it. I think you also try to bring him back. He's not a point guard. He's got to play off-ball guard, but James Scott was expensive, but you saw in Nashville what they thought he was going to be all season, and he wasn't all season until he got to Nashville for whatever reason. But
and that's the one I really point to. I mean, he is the most expensive piece on the roster currently. And he averaged 3 points and 4 rebounds. But then he basically averaged a double-double in the SEC tournament. Can you get that version of him? You know, what did they do with Nico Bundalo, who was a McDonald's All-American that played in like 7 games this year? And there are a lot of people that really liked him. Travis Perry.
You bring Klafke back at the right price anyway.
You do. You hope that Travis Perry gets to the point where he is what you think he can be. I don't know.
And then you got to hit 5, 6 guys in the portal.
What are Ole Miss's 2, 3 biggest needs in the portal?
Point guard. Point guard.
Well, they can go head-to-head with Mississippi State. Yeah.
Point guard. Point guard and another big.
All right.
Probably a Dre Davis type wing, long, athletic.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to replace AJ Storr somehow. That kind of role, long guy that can step outside and shoot and defend.
Like when I look at Ole Miss, like alpha scorer doesn't strike you as like a huge need, or do you want that to be the point guard?
See, I think Pinkins is going to be that guy.
Okay.
I think he looks like he's going to be that guy.
The other thing that they need is a dog. You think about that team that they had a year ago, and what I mean, you know what I mean when I say a dog, but I'm talking about somebody that's got that kind of killer instinct. You had that with Sean Padula a year ago. I'm not saying that his numbers are the greatest numbers in the history of the world, but he was kind of a throw you on his back and carry you kind of guy. And you had that to a certain degree with Jamin Brakefield as well. There was like we're not going to lose this, but he also had 3 years invested in the program. I guess it was a year at Duke and then 3 years invested in the program at Ole Miss. And you had Matthew Morrell, who was a senior leader. I know his season was not what it could have been or you hoped it would have been. I think he was carrying injuries that he was like a 21-year-old in a 40-year-old's body at the end of that season.
Yeah, the only thing holding his leg together was the skin. Every other ligament in the knee had dissipated by the time this season was over. Yeah, there's hyperbole in that, but I mean, that's what you're talking about, though, a dog.
And so
that kind of guy.
How do you get those guys when you're speed dating? You know, how do you just get lucky? Is there
pre-portal?
There is a bit of luck though. I mean,
yeah.
And I think we learned this year at both State and Ole Miss that you can look at all the film you want, but it may be a little different when they show up to play SEC basketball.
Yeah. And for James Scott's lack of production, it's not like he wasn't liked by his teammates. I mean, they talked glowingly about him and kind of the energy that he brought every day and what kind of a teammate he was and all of those things. But yeah, I mean, you whiffed on James Scott for 95% of the season. You whiffed on Corin Johnson. And I think he's got a year left, I think.
Indeed, he's gone, but he didn't get any better. I mean, he did not take steps forward that his skill set said he should have.
But also he had an 8-game stretch at the end of the year where he played basketball that is winning basketball, especially if you've got other pieces around him. But he made better decisions. He didn't settle for just outside jump shots. He was like, oh, I'm big and strong and thick and athletic, and I can get to the rim and can make the mid-range jumper better than I can make one from 21 feet.
Fading away.
That's a set shot.
Yeah.
So, what about for Mississippi State? In 20 seconds.
We'll come back to that after we talk to Christian Austrian.
Let me come back to that.
Hold that for the end of the hour. How about that?
I got you, yeah.
Sports Talk Mississippi. He'll join us on the Farm Bureau guest line when we come back.
Mississippi continues.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. We go now to the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. Christian Ostrander, head coach at Southern Miss, joining us right now, again on the Farm Bureau guest line. Coach, let's rewind back 6 days from now, since we haven't talked to you since you guys took down your third consecutive SEC team on your home field in the midweek. All 3 different games, but what was your reaction? What did you tell your team after they beat Ole Miss on Tuesday night?
Well, I think kind of what you just said. I mean, we've had some tough contests, the previous Tuesdays with SEC opponents, and each one was a little different, how you had to try to navigate it and ultimately win. And, that night against Ole Miss, my goodness, their arms were stellar and, as advertised. But I thought our guys kind of pitched really well, too. And, it was toe-to-toe. They hit a home run in the 5th, and we hit one in the bottom of the 5th and solo. And then, just sets up for that last inning to, be able to get a walk-off. So very proud of him for that night.
Your program has a ton of respect nationally. People know and are aware of Southern Miss baseball and how good you guys are, regardless of conference. But is it validating for your program when SEC teams come to your place, you have sold-out crowds, and then you beat them the way you guys have this year?
Well, sure, that's huge. It's huge for our fan base. It gives them something. They're prideful, they're proud. And, so it's great. I think it's great for both sides. At least I hope it is. I mean, I know talking with Coach Bianco and O'Connor that, they feel it too. They know it's tough. It's a tough draw. I mean, you got to play well, just like, and that means a lot to hear. But I think it's great for the state. I really do. So it's fun. It's a fun game to be part of.
Into Sun Belt play, but this weekend up at Arkansas State, you end up losing the first series of the year. What's the message to the team when they come in on such a high that you think that things are going your way, and then you get that reality check that, hey, we're about to play some really tough games? What do you tell the team after a weekend like that?
That they're human, and they're vulnerable, and if you allow it, and you've got to fight like cats and dogs not to allow that element to creep in. It's easy to get up for some of these stages, and you go on the road against a good opponent. Arkansas State's a really good opponent and much improved, in my opinion, and threw the ball well, played well. And you better be ready for it, man. You better be ready for that challenge, but that's life. When you start feeling good about, where you're at, you're going to get bit. And that's exactly what happened. I think Friday night, their guy was really good, and I'll tip my hat to them. They beat us. And then thought we played really well Saturday, and then Sunday it was right there, for anybody, and we had our chances. We just didn't cash in. So ultimately, there you go.
And when you look at that game on Friday night, I mean, Caden Sundstrom has been really, really good for you this year, but just did not seem to have it there in Camden, and just didn't seem to have it there on Friday night. When, again, that's sort of the same question. You've had a guy who's had so much success this year. What are you telling him when he's coming off the mound there and has given up the lead?
You move on to the next one. That's part of it. It's never, success is never just totally linear, going in the same direction. There's going to be some bumps and bruises and things like that. And as much as we, don't think he's ever going to give up another run or whatever, I mean, it's you got to move on. It's baseball. It's very humbling. And he competed. His heart was in the right place. His mindset was in the right place. They hit him. And you just leave it at that and move on to the next.
And then you guys drop a tough Friday game, but as they say, momentum is only as good as the next day's pitcher, and you got a great one from Harris on Saturday.
Yeah, he did it again, man. He was really good. High strike percentage. Just did his thing, and we needed it because we weren't just striping the ball and putting up a ton of runs. I think it was like a 3-1 game going to the 8th inning or something like that. So so we needed it from him, and he did a fantastic job again.
When you look at this upcoming week, Coach, you've got an interesting one. You've got Nichols down there in Biloxi. Of course, they beat LSU last week. You've got Troy. I know they have a midweek win over Georgia this week. And, of course, that's just a year-in, year-out very good program. It doesn't get any easier, obviously. What's the message to the team this week about bouncing back?
Yeah, just that. We had a great meeting today before practice and just kind of resetting. Just making sure that you use opportunities for teaching moments, right? And but knowing that tomorrow's game is the next one, the most important one, and got to be ready for it. Nichols has kind of had our number, it feels like, so there should be plenty of motivation for that alone. But just the fact that tomorrow's our next game and most important game of the year, and looking forward to that, and then getting back at the Pete this weekend is going to be fun.
One thing you guys have displayed all season is pitching depth, and a pretty impressive amount of it. Forgive the stupid question. Is there a moment where you have too many good options and you have a hard time figuring out, what buttons to push because you have such depth in your bullpen?
Yeah, sometimes it is hard. I like having that problem. I'd rather feel on that side of it than the other, because I've been on the other too, and you walk a really thin margin. But you can try to go with matchups, and you just trust. And then I guess what makes it hard is when you go to one and it didn't work, and then you go, man, you second guess is a little bit easier. But it's good to have options. I'd rather have it this way than any other.
Coach, forgive the stupid question. It's just a disclaimer. Whenever we start talking, just as soon as we start talking, forgive the stupid questions. If you will just, we don't need that. We don't have to say.
Just stupid people.
It's just stupid people. Exactly. Coach, I feel like, especially with fans, I call it like a football mentality sometimes. Because, in football, there's only 12 games. So if you lose a game, man, you're already behind the 8 ball. And I feel like fans sometimes struggle with the idea of, yes, you lost 2 of your first 3 Sun Belt games. The season isn't anywhere near over. Nothing happened this weekend that's going to take you off course for where you want to be. Do baseball players and coaches sometimes suffer from that football mentality?
I certainly don't. I think been doing it long enough and understand that. As much as you can't stand to lose, right? You want to win every game. That's not reality in this sport, unfortunately. And so you got to go. And then just kind of the message to the players, and this is what you want them to learn too. It's okay to get beat if you can honestly say everything was right mindset wise, your mentality, your effort, your passion. If you can do that and say that and get beat, then hey man, that's just part of the game. But you can't live too high or too low. You got to stay in the middle for sure.
Coach, I don't think we asked who are you starting on the midweek?
Dylan Causey. Dylan Causey will get us going.
All right. Big week for Southern Mississippi as they look to bounce back. That's going to be a theme with all of our interviews today with Coach Ostrander, Coach O'Connor, and Coach Bianco later in the show. Coach, we appreciate your time as always, and good luck this week.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Coach Kristen Ostrander joins us on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team. I got to be honest, of the 3 results we have had this weekend, that's them losing was the most surprising to me.
Definitely. Most surprising.
Ole Miss has to go on the road to play the number 2 team in the nation. Mississippi State goes on the road. Even ranked 3rd, they're still playing a top 5 team. Southern Miss going to Arkansas State. But I tell you what, we talked to 2 different people last week, I think, and they both said, Arkansas State is a team that they're a little scrappy and they could surprise. So
Arkansas State could have, should have, would have beat Ole Miss in the midweek a few weeks ago.
They did. Ole Miss had 5 errors in that game. Now, it's still a little early to talk about that, but they could have won that game. And that's obviously a decent team up there in Jonesboro. But keeping up with baseball on Friday night, I saw a tweet come across that Southern Miss had lost that first game, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
They lost, and then they win on Saturday. I'm like, all right, they'll figure it out, and then you see what happened on Sundays.
And then revenge on the mind tomorrow. By the way, remember Nichols who beat them after they beat Mississippi State. I
forgot that because I mentioned that they had beaten LSU, but they also beat USM. Or did they not beat you? I don't. And I got to be honest with you, I won't lie to you.
Nichols had the win over Southern Miss the day after Southern Miss beat Mississippi State.
I remember that now. But did Nichols beat LSU?
Or was it was Louisiana? A lot of people are beating LSU in baseball this year.
There's so many teams are beating LSU. I can't keep up with all of them.
Hey, that just manifests that to just take what you said, project that energy, come September 5th and moving forward.
I don't know about that one.
So on Arkansas State. Good team and a new head coach that has won in difficult places before. Jonesboro, tough place to win consistently. That's not a program that's had a lot of success. Mike Silva is their head coach.
Yeah.
Before getting the job
at
Nichols,
Arkansas
State, he was at Nichols.
Yeah.
And
had that picture a couple years ago.
Yeah, exactly. They made an NCAA regional appearance in Tuscaloosa.
You called that regional.
I did.
Yeah.
Sure did.
And they had that ace pitcher that everybody thought was going to go into the transfer portal and go to LSU, and he didn't. It was crazy.
He did not.
Yeah.
So, Borkey, I was thinking. I think it was you. Maybe it was Hadad that asked the question of Oz a couple of weeks ago. Hey, what do you want to see from your team that you haven't seen yet? What do you want to know about them that you don't know yet? And his answer struck me as interesting at the time. He said, I want to see how we handle some adversity when we drop a couple of games in a row or drop a series and aren't playing very well. Well, he got that. I think deep down he probably would have preferred not to get it this weekend, or maybe not even deep down, maybe just right there on top. He would have preferred not to have that happen this weekend. I remember looking at their schedule, Borkey, after you asked that question, or whichever it was. I'll give you credit. And I was looking at it like, I'm not sure there's going to be a stretch where they have 2 or 3 or 4 games where they lose in a row. Well, they lost 2 out of 3 this weekend in the opening weekend of Sunbelt play. Doesn't mean they're not going to be the Sunbelt champs, but first little bit of adversity for Southern Miss to deal with.
From the
Mississippi. Flatlands of Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Every minute worth waiting for.
Super Talk Mississippi.
call up Trudy on the telephone.
We'll get to Hey Dad's Basketball Take in a second, but I got breaking news that we got to get to. From somebody I like Pete Nakos a lot, but breaking news from Pete Nakos. Ole Miss transfer wide receiver Caden Lee looks like the real deal since arriving at Missouri, a source tells On3. Yeah, a source also tells me that a multi-year starter in the SEC with over 1,600 career yards is a good player. I'm just breaking news more at 11 here, Pete.
What a dumb thing. Like,
the good player looks good.
Guys,
imagine that.
I understand you got to grease these agents up a little bit every now and then, but you don't have to tweet. You don't have to just like regurgitate every piece of information that they send you.
I can't.
The guy was a good football player. Is good breaking.
Yeah,
more at 11.
A new helmet doesn't change his ability, man.
Like he's a system wide receiver. They didn't think he was going to be good. Like, what are we talking about, guys?
Crazy.
At least they didn't tag the agents in the tweet, did they?
No.
All right. At least they didn't. At least we got past that.
But what does Mississippi State basketball need to get past? We did it with Ole Miss, a digestive, if you will, of the season. What do they need?
A digestif?
Yeah, but I don't speak French.
Is that also a post-mortem?
It
could be that too.
Yeah. Considering Mississippi State this year, that's probably more apt. They've got to actually get a guy to combo up with Hubbard. You thought Jaden Epps and Jabari McGee's were going to be those guys this year. They were not. Epps just too inconsistent, and they need more physicality. They need a bigger combo guard, a 6'4", 6'5" guy. Now look, 6'4", 6'5" guys that can shoot well, they tend to already be in the NBA. But you got to find the best example of that you can in college. They need somebody with a little bit more physicality. They need that. They've got to find a legit 5. I like Jamarian Davis Fleming, but maybe not 5 so much as stretch 4 then, because Fleming can play the 5, and I'm excited to see what T. Bartlett does next year for Mississippi State. I think he got a couple of good, young, talented bigs there, but neither one of those guys can play the 4. So State doesn't have a stretch 4, a guy who can play at the 4, can also give them some 3-point shooting. I like Makara, but I don't think that he's ready to go full-time and be your starter there. And then they've got, you mentioned it for Ole Miss, Makara. I can never remember how they pronounce his name. The Serbian.
Montserrat?
Sure.
Macarena?
No, not him. Anyway.
I mean, he's your guy. This is not.
I can't. I can't with him.
Okay.
And then they need a 3-and-D guy. They need a winger who can get out there, shoot some 3-pointers, play defense. They need somebody who can do, he didn't really shoot threes, but what Cam Matthews did, what DJ Jeffries did would be the better example. He was such a key player for Mississippi State, such an underrated piece of why State was so good defensively those first 2 years with Chris Jans. So they need that. But they need you've got Hubbard, you've got some young guys, and that's what you got. And you got to go out and get 4 or 5 guys in this portal. I think State's going to rely on a couple of freshmen next year as well. I think Willie Burnett's going to play a big role for Mississippi State, and I think Tristan Reed might play a big role as another big off the bench. But they need a little bit more than what they have there.
Bang.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, you need to see, and I guess you mentioned Jamarian Davis Fleming, take a step forward. There were flashes this year that were exceptional.
He's got to spend a month at the free throw line. I mean, his free throw shooting is putrid bad. I can't get over. I've never seen a college basketball player that bad of a free throw shooter.
It was.
And if you're going to play in the post, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to get hacked. You got to be able to make at least 60% of your free throws.
33.9%.
Can't do that. That you can't live like that, and that's why he can't play at the 4. You know, he's built like a 4, but he can't shoot out like that. So, which is crazy. In high school, he was a decent shooter, but not anymore.
He's got a frame that would allow him to theoretically add some weight. I mean, listed at 6'10", 240. Looked a little lighter, I thought, than 240, but man, the athletic ability there is off the charts.
State, he said, so I see on the text line, some state he's a true point guard. I think Hubbard would be okay there if he just had another guy in the backcourt with him that he could rely on a little bit more. They tried that with Epps this year, and it just didn't work the way they wanted it to. It just didn't have the consistency.
Would you feel good playing him at the 2 if you had a true point guard, high-end point guard?
I would, but you got to have a bigger point guard. You can't have 2 guys back there that are 5'10", you know?
Yeah.
In the dogs thing, I like that expression. That's a good expression because it's so
and that's
descriptive. State needs some dogs, too.
That's been the most disappointing part of these last 2 seasons is they completely got away from what made them successful under Jans the first 2 years. Now, they were good enough offensively 2 years ago that they made up for it. This year, they had no defense and not enough offense.
But the style in his first couple of years was not one that fans really enjoyed, right? It was the rugged defense.
I think they enjoyed
enough shots and a lot of low post play, a lot of 2-point baskets.
I think they enjoyed the first year because it was unexpected to be in the tournament. The next year, it was a little rock fighty to watch, but they overcorrected big time.
Winners and losers. What did you like from the busy weekend in sports? What did you not like? Send them in on the C Spire text line, 601-879-4395. After the news, we will get to some winners and losers and Brian O'Connor as well in the 4 o'clock hour.
Check this out. Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
Hey, Richard, let me ask you something.
Tell it.
What would you say if I told you could get a brand new John Deere tractor for just $265 a month? Well, right now at Ag Up Equipment, you can get a John Deere 3025E with loader starting at only $265 a month during their 3 Series tractor blowout. They've got additional 3 Series models available, with many of them priced at or even below invoice. But I'll tell you this, there's only a limited number of these tractors at these prices, and they are not going to last long. So swing by one of Ag Up's 15 locations or check them out online at agup.com for all the details. What's Up on Sports Talk Mississippi is presented by Ag Up. It's Monday, it's 4 o'clock. You know what's up. It's winners and losers.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. I'm a loser, baby.
We got winners. We got losers.
Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser.
Winner never win. And a winner never quit.
You know how it goes. What'd you like from the weekend? What'd you not like? Let us know on the C Spire text line at 601-879-4395. We'll start with Michael Borkey.
Y'all are going to think I'm nuts.
Or as the French call him, Michael Borkey.
You're going to think I'm nuts for this one.
Okay.
The Savannah Bananas.
No, you're not wrong.
So they were in the Superdome, 2 straight sold-out Superdomes for the Savannah Bananas. And when I saw the video of Tyler Shuck throwing a touchdown pass, which looked like it was a lot of fun, I made it a point to put it on for 10 minutes. I watched it a little bit because it's on ESPN, and I watched the Savannah Bananas in the Superdome. Is it for me? Absolutely not. It is goofy and cheesy and all of those things. Every critic is right when they say what they say about it, but also all 75,000 people in that stadium were having a blast. That guy in the yellow suit, the founder of Banana Ball, what a genius that guy is. A true genius. those people were having a blast. You brought out Drew Brees. They were playing like New Orleans-based music the entire time. They embraced the city more than Gail Benson's Pelicans do. In 2 days. It looked like fun. It's not for me, but that dude's killing it, man. Back-to-back nights of sold-out Superdomes is incredible.
You know, I went to the event here in Starkville last year with the Party Animals and the Texas Tailgaters. Again, would I just go by myself? No. But if you've got kids, it's a tremendous, tremendous event, and it's fun. It is. You can't. And the special appearances are what make it. And getting Breeze, I mean, what a coup! I'm pretty sure he's going to get cheered every time you see him in New Orleans. Richard Cross. What you got?
It's something that we talked about in the first hour of the show. I'm going World Baseball Classic.
All right.
Was in Athens on, what was it? I guess I drove Friday and watched a bunch of the game that the United States played on Friday night. High drama in that one. They advanced to the semifinals. Huge drama last night, a 2-1 win. But not just games that the United States plays in. Whether it's Japan and Korea or Mexico or the Dominican Republic or Venezuela, fans are coming out for these games. And Major League Baseball has lost some of its shine. They've got a commissioner that's not much fun. They can't figure out where to televise their games. Fans are priced out of going to games in a lot of cases and frustrated with the fact that they can't just flip on the television. And so baseball needs a little bit of a jolt, especially professional baseball. And when you are able to take your best players and insert them onto teams with country names on the front of them and get some excitement about baseball before opening day, I think you've done something good. And the World Baseball Classic is in the best spot that it has ever been in. World Baseball Classic, a winner. And oh, by the way, the United States won. And we make no apologies for it.
None. I mean, hockey
because winners win.
Hockey's seeing a bump. Jersey sales for the American players are up. Ratings are up. Attendance is up. People saw that and gravitated towards it. And now here you've got it with baseball now. I think you're good for however long it lasts. I mean, soccer gets a World Cup bump every year, and it slowly tapers off. Then the World Cup happens, they get a bump again. But it never tapers off back to normal. There's always growth, even when it falls off after the World Cup.
Yeah.
I think baseball is going to experience the same phenomenon that the World Cup does in soccer, is that even if after a couple months the high from the World Baseball Classic wanes, it'll be higher than it was last World Baseball Classic and the one before it and the one before it. Capturing the hearts of international competition will pay off long-term for the sport.
All right. My winner is us, the sports fans, because we are about to enter.
I think you meant us.
Well, it technically is, because we are sports fans. This is, in my opinion, the second best time of the year for sports. All right, the best time for me is sort of that October, November, college football, pro football, MLB playoff era. But right now, we've got March Madness about to start up. In the next 30 days, we got March Madness. We got the MLB season opening up. The Masters is coming. I mean, this is just a great time of year for sports.
Hey, that even dropped at golf.
I'll drop it in there. And, you know, this year we got the World Baseball Final. Will be in this window that we're talking about. College baseball, if you're here in this state especially, this is the best time of year for it, late, mid-March through April. The next 30 days are really, really good time to be a sports fan in America. I'll throw a WrestleMania in there for you as well, just for me. If I throw in golf, I can throw in wrestling. So yeah, sports fans, this is this is a good time of year for us. We're winners. You got a loser, Michael Borkey? Don't. You know what? I'm going first because I'm afraid you're going to steal mine. I'm afraid you're going to steal mine. The name is Stone Lawless. Now, speaking of wrestling, how Stone Lawless isn't the current United States heavyweight champion, I have no idea. That's a great wrestling name. But he did play the heel on Sunday, as he comes in a pinch hit role. He's going to win the game for Tennessee at Georgia with an absolute nuke into the left field stands. It's going to get eaten by the trees out there at Foley Field, and he was letting them know through his bat halfway into the dugout. Starts strutting like he's Ric Flair down the sideline, down the baseline. Caught at the tremendous catch, by the way. Great catch to rob a home run. Buddy, you better know it's gone before you start all the theatrics. Stone Lawless, you're a loser. Richard?
I had Georgia and Tennessee on Saturday.
You had Stone Lawless. I think we all had Stone Lawless.
No. I was just saying I did that, and some good home runs to call in that one. No, I'm going to go a little closer to us than Stone Lawless. Okay. You may have seen the news today. Alabama star and the second leading scorer on their team, Aiden Holloway, has been arrested on felony drug charges 4 days before his team is set to play in the NCAA tournament. Tuscaloosa County Police spokesperson Stephanie Taylor said that Holloway was arrested Monday morning and transported to the county jail after agents with the West Alabama Narcotics Task Force searched the residence near Alabama's campus and recovered more than a pound of marijuana, paraphernalia, and cash. Holloway has been charged with a Class C felony and failure to affix a tax stamp. Who knew you needed a tax stamp for a pound of weed in your apartment? That's also a felony. His bond was set at $5,000. He was released from jail this morning. The possession charge can carry a penalty of up to 10 years in jail and a fine of $15,000. The only remaining question: will he play for the Crimson Tide this weekend?
Nate Oates will make sure he gets a key to the city.
I'll set the over-under on games missed at 0.5.
Under.
I'm going under. He's not going to miss this. He won't miss a minute.
Do you think Nate Holloway, after being arrested for felony drug charges on Monday, will play on Friday?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If precedent tells us anything.
I am a student of history.
What precedent might you be? I mean,
Nate Oates, precedent.
We're talking about drug charges.
And,
we were talking about murder a little while ago.
Thank you. I was just waiting for you to say it. I just was setting it up for you.
Some of the discourse of it's just weed, who cares? It doesn't. I'm sick of that. It's other college kids do stuff like that. Well, not all of them deal drugs. Not every college student does, for one.
No, they don't.
And number two, as a highly paid professional basketball player, there are some things you can't do that normal people can do. You have afforded yourself the privilege of being a professional basketball player. You can't do things like that. I have no sympathy for him at all. None. Can't do stuff like that.
So you think he plays and this gets pleaded down and there's nothing to see here?
Yes.
Brian O'Connor, when we come back, Sports Talk Mississippi.
From the Venable Sports Talk Mississippi is brought to you by Covington County Hospital in Collins, where your health matters.
You're hearing Sports Talk Mississippi.
What? This is so
awesome on Super Talk Mississippi.
A Monday warrior, mean strike. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
Mississippi State dropped 2 out of 3 this past weekend at Arkansas. Lost the game on Friday night on a walk-off home run. Came back to win game 2 on Saturday, but in the second part of the doubleheader, gave away a lead late in the game and kind of had a little bit of a meltdown there at the end of that game. So the Bulldogs dropped 2 and 3. They dropped to 8th in the Baseball America poll and I believe 6th in the D1 baseball poll. So tough first week of SEC play for Coach Brian O'Connor, who I was able to catch up with earlier on Sunday. That's when he wanted to talk. So We'll go now to the Farm Bureau guest line. Coach Brian O'Connor joins us here on the show. To the Farm Bureau guest line, check out favorites.com and go with the home team. Coach Brian O'Connor joins us as he does every week here on the show to talk about his team. A 2-2 week for you guys. Big win down in Biloxi and that comeback victory over Tulane. A 1-2 start to SEC play. What did this week teach you about your team?
Well, it continued to teach me, Brian, that we've got really good resolve and our guys hang in there, even though, there's going to be a lot of things that aren't going to go your way in a baseball game. And, that was proven true on Tuesday against Tulane down in Biloxi, and proud of our guys that we found a way to win that game late. And we were really offensive in the late innings and in there. And the Arkansas series was a tough, challenging series. Heartbreaker on Friday night to get walked off. And, as you know, Brian, this league is tough, and you got to be great in every ball game and play the game clean, which we did in game 2. Tomas Valinkas was really good, and we were pretty opportunistic in that game offensively and really played a nice, clean game defensively. And then, game 3, we jumped out to the lead and just couldn't hold them down, and made some mistakes late in the game that we have an opportunity to clean up. And that's what this is about, you're not going to be at your best every day, and it's not always going to go your way, but we have an opportunity to learn and get better. And that's what we have in front of us, and looking forward to getting back out there on Tuesday afternoon in another SEC series, this home opening SEC series against Vanderbilt.
You kind of hit on what I wanted to ask you about there. You've got 5 losses on the season. And I would say that in each of those losses, I could point to something your team did or did not do, and that's the reason that you lost, more than your opponent was just better than you on that day. Is that encouraging because you feel like you can fix those mistakes, or does that make it even more frustrating when you lose?
No, it's encouraging. It's an opportunity to learn. I mean, hey, let's call it like it is. The UCLA game, we were 1 out away, and a great All-American shortstop hit a big home run for them. And even though we couldn't get a run across the board in the next half inning, great players rise up in big moments. And so, in our losses that we have this year, Brian, we're right there, and there's some things that certainly need to get better at and clean up a little bit. A few things defensively that need to improve, and that's the opportunity we have. Is recognize those things, work on them, and we will work on them every day to hopefully the next opportunity they present itself. They don't come about. And hey, listen, nobody goes out there and plays airless baseball, right? This is about handling the emotion and managing the mistakes. And what happened in the 8th inning in game 3 against Arkansas, you're going to have some things happen, right? The other teams in the other dugout are pretty darn good too, and they make mistakes as well. It's about limiting the damage, and we didn't do that in the 8th inning to give ourselves an opportunity in the 9th.
Some of your best moments from the weekend came when Bryce Chance getting on at the bottom of the order, and then Aiden Teal and Ace Reese behind him able to drive him in, and that's what it's really set you up in game 2, especially. When you see Bryce Chance, he's hitting .448, I believe. He's the second leading hitter in the SEC with the guys who have enough at bats. Are you tempted to move him up in the order, or is it just like, hey, it's not broke, I'm not going to fix it?
Well, I mean, you can look at that 2 ways. I've clearly thought about that many, many times, and his approach offensively has been incredibly consistent for us. And the advantage of him doing what he's doing in the 9-hole, Brian, is that it does turn it over, and he's getting on base a lot for those guys, at the top of the lineup that have a lot of RBIs. So, that's the dilemma, and certainly it's something that I've thought about, and I'll probably will take a look at some point. But we've had a really good offensive ball club all year long, 20 games in, and part of it has been his ability to get on base, especially with 2 outs, start rallies for that top of that lineup to come up.
You're a full month into the season now. How settled do you feel everybody's roles are, specifically in the bullpen?
Yeah, I mean, that's still a work in progress. I wish we had it figured out, but there's just been a lot of inconsistencies, and that's a opportunity for us to improve as a team. It is sew up some of those guys so we have a better idea of what we're getting, and that's on them. They've got to continue to work and improve and take the learns quickly, right? So we can know in what situation who we can really count on.
I thought and you mentioned him a moment ago, I thought the biggest bright spot of the weekend was the way Tomas Valinkas pitched for you on Saturday in Game 1. They gave you, 7 shutout innings, was just really, really good, and at times was overwhelming that Arkansas lineup. How high is that ceiling for him? I'm surprised he's not on Friday nights. We thought coming into the season that might be the case. He's been a weapon for you on Saturdays. How good can he be?
Well, I think you're seeing the competitor and the consistency. The stuff is really good. The stuff's not going to improve. I mean, he's up to, 96, 97 miles an hour. Coach Parker and him have really worked on improving his changeup and just the consistency of his pitches. So he's going to bring it every time he's got an opportunity to go out there, and he's done a terrific job. I do have to say that, Ryan McPherson gave us a chance to win that game on Friday night, right? Going out there and going 6 innings, and he hung in there and kept it within striking distance. And then all of a sudden, Ryder Woodson hits the 2-run home run with 2 outs, right? To give us a chance. So, both of those guys are doing tremendous jobs in the starting role, and are going to continue to need to go out there and lead this pitching staff.
First SEC home weekend is against Vanderbilt. Tim Corbin, a veteran coach like yourself, I'm sure you're very familiar with him. What's one trait of a Tim Corbin team that when you think of Vanderbilt, what do you think of?
Aggressive. They've always been a very aggressive offensive team. They've run the bases very, very aggressive and play sound fundamental defense. Obviously, we're all aware of the great pitchers that they've had there at Vanderbilt since Tim's been there, but they've always played good, fundamental, aggressive baseball, and, have had over the years an opportunity in 2014 and 15, played against Vanderbilt in the National Championship Series. So have a lot of respect for their program. They've been the model of consistency for a long period of time. And that's because they got really good players and they're coached well.
I asked you last week about your excitement level for your first ever SEC series. Now it's your first SEC home series. The crowds are going to be big here in Starkville this weekend. What are you feeling going into that first weekend here at home in SEC play?
Just excitement, right? Brian, the fans, the tradition here, the excitement for this baseball team is just really, really exciting. And for me and for this team, it's an opportunity to play our first SEC weekend here at home in front of a great crowd that'll be behind us every pitch, and just I'm personally extremely excited about the opportunity that this team has in front of us.
We're recording this just to let everybody have clarity on a Sunday afternoon. So the answer to this next question is probably you haven't decided yet, but do you know who's going to get the start for you on Tuesday against Jackson State?
I do not. Coach Parker and I will talk tonight or Monday morning and make that decision. But I'm sure it'll be a lot of guys out of the bullpen, and give them another opportunity to get out there and start to shore up some things to get ready for the weekend.
Coach Brian O'Connor, Mississippi State Baseball. As always, Coach, I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining me. Back in just a minute here on Sports Talk Mississippi, talking more baseball.
One day closer to death. Every year is getting shorter. Never seem to find the time. Plans that either come to naught or half the page of swimming lines hanging on. The time is gone, the song is over. Thought I'd something more to say.
Come on.
Are we going to do this?
Back to Sports Talk, Mississippi.
Keep rolling. 3, 2, 1.
Super Talk, Mississippi.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Just want to throw this in here before we get back to winners and losers. That Mississippi State has announced that freshman Maddox Miller will start the game on Tuesday against Jackson State, and that first pitch has been moved up. It is a 4:00 first pitch. The sudden temperature drop we're experiencing here in the state of Mississippi. They decided
They're college kids. Suck it up, boys.
It's not the players that's the problem. It's the old people in the stands that don't want to shiver.
We'll watch party it tomorrow. Hey, Dad. Both games will start.
And I'll be sitting right across from you there in Studio X.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'll be down there.
That's right. But I might be ghosting you for a good reason. For a similar reason.
Oh,
I might be
you're not ghosting
you
the
tomorrow.
show.
I'm not ghosting the show. I'm ghosting your reason for a similar, albeit different reason.
There you go. Plan of attack.
I mean we're covering all of our bases here.
That's right. That's
is
right.
what we're doing.
That's right.
Looks like I'm going to be on an airplane.
Where are you going?
You guys are doing that. I told you about an assignment that I got from ESPN a couple of weeks ago that I was super, super excited about.
I don't recall. I don't remember.
Yeah, the golf thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I got another assignment today.
Uh-huh.
An NIT game.
Okay.
On Wednesday night.
Uh-huh.
In Orem, Utah.
All right.
Can you name the mascots, fellas?
What are the teams?
Utah Valley and George Washington. I think you cannot.
George Washington are the Colonials, right?
You are incorrect, sir.
The Revolutionaries.
They are the Revolutionaries.
I didn't know that. Okay. Who am I thinking of? It's the Colonials. Is that James Madison?
I think they
Robert Morris.
Okay.
Whatever.
They used to be the Colonials.
Isn't that what Nicholls State is?
Like when Mike Jarvis
they're the
was
Colonels.
there.
Colonels.
Okay.
Care to take a shot at Utah Valley?
Is it a bird? I feel like it's a bird.
No, it's not a bird. It's a cat. They're not the Cougars. Are they the Mountain Lions?
They are the repeat of another famous mascot in college athletics.
That's a cat? Well, I saw your face.
Yeah. At least in the ballpark. They are the Utah Valley Wolverines.
That's not a cat.
It's definitely not a cat.
That's not a cat in any form, shape, or fashion.
Well, I told you it wasn't the Bobcats when you said that.
Well, I didn't say it was. I'm just saying. I said cat, and you gave me a look.
Wolverine is a weasel. Is what it is.
Not even close to a cat.
So yeah, a lot of research.
Yeah. All right, Wolverines. Let's go.
Loser, the Tennessee player that thought he walked it off in
Stone Lawless.
I mean, but what an indictment on Tennessee baseball that is, right? That's Tennessee baseball culture right there. Spiking your bat, thumping your chest, doing all that crap, and then the ball doesn't go out. People didn't like Tennessee not because they were winning, but because they acted like clowns. And now you're not winning anymore, and so you just act like clowns.
I will say that. And they lost 2 out of 3 this weekend, but they could have easily won this series. I think we all just don't like Tennessee so much. We're just itching to write the obituary on them. So just watch out. They could still win some games.
Yeah, keep spiking your bat.
Yeah.
Somebody says, loser, LSU basketball. Here's my question to LSU people. Where do you think the money's coming from to fire your coach, buy out his contract, buy out Will Wade, hire Will Wade, and then pay for a roster that he wants you to pay for? Where do you think you have that kind of money after you've done what you've done in football, what you're doing in baseball, and what you're doing with women's basketball? I know it's just different, and now you're partnering with some weird oil company that nobody's ever heard of, but money is finite, even at a place like LSU. Where do you think you're getting that kind of capital?
I mean, kids get sick every day.
That is true. I mean, they could just keep funneling it through a hospital. But seriously, though, guys, You can't do what you're doing with Lane Kiffin and adequately fund every other sport on campus with maximum NIL dollars. You can't do it. You went all in on football. You got to deal with the repercussions of going all in on football, and that's you're going to punt basketball. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Somebody says, I grew up in D.C., and it was indeed the Colonials, but that word is probably not politically correct anymore. So revolutionaries is politically correct, but not Colonials?
Hey, Dad, do you remember the year 2020? Our founding fathers are problematic now.
I've tried to block a lot of that out.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see. Somebody says, I hate the Savannah Bananas. Makes a joke out of the game, in my opinion. Got little leaguers out there trying to do back flips while catching fly balls. It's silly. Well, that's when you, as the coach, got to step in and say, no, son, this is real baseball. The Bananas are not. And
read the next text. I was at the Banana Saturday, and it's so entertaining. We love seeing it.
It looked like...
it really is just...
It's not for me, but it looked like they were having fun.
Why do they have to be... why does it have to be one or the other?
Well, that's the thing.
Why can't
this country
it just be a version of baseball that's fun without...
Well, we've celebrated the Harlem Globetrotters for 6, 7, 8, 9 decades, however long they've been playing basketball. This is the same thing. This is the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
And you've got Live Golf, which is like the Savannah. I mean, so it's happening in other sports too.
Have you seen the setup for they're doing a Live Golf event in South Africa, I think, this week, and have sold 90,000 tickets and have created kind of an arena-style feel to one of the holes. Actually, it looks pretty cool.
I'm sure John Rahm's going to love it. Hey, Dad, earlier, apparently you forgot to mention the start of UFL season and the draft.
The NFL draft is the big miss in there. But the UFL, hey, if that's your cup of tea, by all means.
A lot of losers for Tennessee baseball. Winner, the Georgia Bulldogs left fielder, so I guess that technically counts as a loser also.
Yeah.
Hard to go with any other loser than Aiden Holloway. I mean, that's truly unbelievable.
So they just released a statement on him, by the way. The university is aware of the allegations, is working to gather more information. The student has been removed from campus pending further investigation by the UA Office of Student Conduct. So perhaps we're wrong. Perhaps we've unfairly misjudged NATO.
No, we didn't unfairly misjudge him.
Probably not.
He was letting his players do gun celebrations and introductions after one of his players was arrested for murder. So, benefit of the doubt isn't given when that happens.
Right.
A lot of reaction to that, too, from earlier.
Yeah.
Auburn is a loser for missing the tournament. To have one of the best wins on any resume in the country at Florida and have that many losses is just completely unserious basketball. That's Tyler, by the way, an Auburn fan. So we have one rational Auburn fan out there. Okay. Everybody's from somewhere. Like Dari Noka's on the SEC network. He's an Oklahoma guy. He loves his Sooners.
Yeah.
But his son isn't coaching the team, and he's not on Oklahoma's payroll. So it's okay that he is in the discussion about Oklahoma. It's far less bad than when you have Bruce Pearl, whose son is the coach of Auburn, and he is still on the payroll at Auburn, sitting on the desk of the broadcaster of the tournament, talking about how his son's team should have been in and why SMU and Miami should not have gotten in. That we used to care about conflict of interest in broadcasting. That used to matter. You don't have to get him off the set. Just, hey, when you're talking about Auburn, don't throw it to Bruce. That's all you got to do. That's all you have to do.
Is he sort of like when, the committee, you have to abstain?
Yeah, just don't throw it to Bruce for this one. That's it. Let the other analysts talk about Auburn, and when you move off of Auburn, then you throw it back to Bruce because he knows basketball more than anybody. But we used to care about that kind of thing, and I think it's embarrassing that they keep putting him out there to keep trying to prop up his son's undeserving team while also knocking Miami and SMU in the process.
Yeah, but it's also not impossible to set aside your loyalties and just do it the right way.
If it was my son, I don't know if I could.
He was not going to do anything but advocate for his former team and the team that his son is coaching. And as silly as it was, there were merits to the argument that he was making. You can absolutely believe that Auburn did not deserve to be in the NCAA tournament, which they did not, while still arguing their case. Attorneys do it all the time. Their job is to argue for a guilty client, and yet they have to defend that client with the evidence that they've got. I don't know. It felt much or too far, almost like an attack. And there are lots of people that really don't like Bruce Pearl out there too.
There is
a lot of people.
There most certainly is that.
Apparently, Dan Wolken chief among them, which is interesting because I believe they are both of the Jewish faith, and you rarely see public disagreements between members of said faith.
Don't worry, though. Tyler, I hate to do this to Tyler because he's a great texter. He listens every day. He seems like a really nice guy, and we love you for being here, Tyler. So, good news. Stephen Pearl only has 5 years left on his contract that John Cohen gave him. So, just 5 more years, man. You're good. Winners and more winners and losers when we come back.
No.
From the Venable Glass
Come on, SuperTalk Mississippi.
Check this out. Are you ready? Yeah.
Sports Talk Mississippi.
Ironic. Sometimes we're talking about stuff during the break, and then a song plays, and it just works. So.
Tyler, I'm sorry. He sent us a Jim Halpert gif. I'm sorry, Tyler.
I laughed at that really hard, Tyler. I'm sorry about that.
You're the man, Tyler. We love you to death. And hey, the baseball team, legitimately very good at Auburn. So at least, and also, ripped on Stephen Pearl and Bruce Pearl. Kudos to them for playing in the NIT, though. I like that. I mean, you're a big brand, really expensive roster, really disappointed this year. Notre Dame chickened out of the bowl game, and I ripped that apart because that was taking their ball and going home. That was lame. If you are afforded an opportunity to keep playing, I like that Auburn chose to keep playing. I'm not being flippant or sarcastic. I respect that move, and I would be glad that they did that.
If you want to join the conversation, you can do so on the C Spire text line, 601-879-4395. This tax season, C Spire is helping you stretch your refund and still get the devices you want. Right now, new and current customers can get 3 free devices plus 100 gigs of data for just $100. There is more to see at cspire.com. Hey, Dad, I got 2 things for you.
Okay.
One of them is a text on the C Spire text line. The other is if you haven't checked out Babylon Bee lately on X, you should.
Okay. Do it right now?
They rarely miss. Yeah, sure. I'd love to see your reaction.
They show up in my timeline every now and then.
Yeah.
Is this like their most recent text?
Probably.
This is the one about the Ayatollah?
Yes, that is the one.
That's a funny one. That's a good headline.
You want to just go ahead and read that, or no?
No, I'll leave. That's for a cross in the morning.
The other is this message.
He forgot what time of day it was, hey, Dad?
Yeah, I'm not going there. Literally and figuratively.
Hey, Dad, gun to your head. You have to select Ross Bjork.
It's a gun to my head.
Larry Templeton or John Cohen to be your AD, or you drop athletics as a whole and pick up knitting as your hobby. My question, what color yarn do you use, and what are you making?
I told him on the text line, my mom was a big cross-stitch fan back in the day, so I might go into that.
Did you know that needlepoint is making a comeback?
Is it? I did not know. My grandmother was more of a needlepointer.
Yeah,
my mom was a cross-stitcher.
Yeah, difference between needlepoint and cross-stitch. Mm-hmm. But, yes, a lot of young people have taken up cross-stitch as a non-screen time activity.
You got to get rid of the screens. Did you see
good
Toy Story 5 is coming out?
I did not.
The bad guy is an iPad.
Oh, I like that.
That's the bad guy in the
That's
movie.
actually a great concept. Yeah, that's good stuff there.
I like it.
Very good.
We will
That's
watch.
Pixar, right?
Yeah.
Which is owned by Disney?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to watch that, or is it woke? I don't know.
Oh, when we went to a year and a half, a little over a year ago, went to Disney World.
Yeah.
And in the back of Hollywood Studios, they've got Toy Story Land.
Yeah.
I'd never been before. I guess it was new since the last time I'd been at Disney World.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That one, the shooting game is so fun.
The shooting game is so much fun, and the roller coaster that they have in Toy Story Land is legit. It's great. Borkey, you're going to take one of these days, James, to Disney World, I would think.
I've looked at the price tag. He's going to have to enjoy...
At some point down the line, it'll
else.
happen, and he will love it. Yes, it's expensive.
It's nuts.
It's out of control.
I was thankful for the cast member discount.
Nailed it. That's so awesome.
Oh, because you work for ESPN.
That's so awesome.
Is that right?
Owned by Mickey Mouse.
Nice. I didn't know that you were able to get that.
Hey, Dad, you know what? We need to start calling Richard when we do guest previews and stuff for a show.
Mm-hmm.
Disney cast member Richard Cron. So many people will be like, wait, what?
Yeah. My last trip to Disney was I think 2015, and that's probably it. Probably never going to go back.
You want to buy a baseball hat of your favorite baseball team. You got $60 to spend on a hat because that's what it's going to cost you now.
I own 2 hats, and that's all until they wear out, I won't be buying any new ones.
World Cup kits. Guess the price.
You want a SuperTalk hat?
That is a good hat.
I mean, I'll take one if you can bring me one.
That's a really good hat.
I see you so often these days.
Yeah, I know.
Guess the price. World Cup kits. So the new kits, very thin soccer jersey.
Just the jersey?
Just the jersey.
$125.
$210.
Goodness.
The material's probably 50 to 75 cents to make and produce.
Hard to put a price on patriotism, Borkey.
That's a good point.
Remember that every time you go to the gas pump.
Well, guess what? Well, DH Gates called my name. Hopefully it'll be here before.
I think when you pump gas, it should play Freebird. Play the national anthem.
We played Freebird on this show, Richard, and Hadad and I stood up and put our hands on our hearts.
We showed respect to our national anthem.
Your college football fix when we come back. Trinidad lawsuit news. I'm kidding, Hadad. We will not be talking.
Please, no.
There is that news, but we're just not going there because there's nothing. It's nothing. But we will talk college football when we come back.
Let the broadcasting of the disturbed continue.
Sports Talk Mississippi. Super Talk Mississippi.
Legal Talk Mississippi. Sorry, Hadad. I won't make that joke anymore because we're not going to do that. We are going to talk college football in this 5 o'clock hour, and then, of course, visit with Mike Bianco here in about 14 minutes from right now. I'm Michael Borkey. He's Brian Hadad. Richard with us as well this week. We're glad that you guys are with us. We got some clarity. We've been waiting for clarity about spring practice. We got 50% of the clarity we've been seeking anyway, so we will tell you about that right now for the College Football Fix.
The College Football Fix is driven by your Mississippi Ford dealers. Built Ford Tough. That's what the best-selling truck in America is, the Ford F-150. And just like the people who drive it, it's all American. Go see your Mississippi Ford dealers today. You'll see. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I thought Richard might look up at that. I gave him a little compliment there.
So we now know about spring practice in Oxford. We've been casually just dropping in. Well, we have no idea when practices start or anything about that. Spring games, nothing really. Well, we got that information from Ole Miss. March 31st, well, more specifically, March 27th is when they will begin spring practice. But every Tuesday and every Friday during spring practice, from March 27th through April 17th, there will be press conferences, media availability, viewing periods on Tuesday and stuff like that. You're going to actually, although you don't get to go in person, you're going to get practice video and interviews and stuff like that of your team this spring. Not as much locked down as maybe it was in the past. No spring game. At least there's no reference to spring game in the release, but there will be a Meet the Team Day on Saturday morning of the double-decker weekend, so April 25th, 9:30 in the morning. Pete Golding and other coaches will talk there. They'll do a full Q&A session, autographs for the kids, and I guess for the adults too, but autograph session and more. And most importantly, and this is something that I talk about all the time, you don't have to be a member of a special club. You don't have to have some kind of giving level. All you have to donate is your time, and you can get your favorite player's autograph and hear from your head coach. And if you don't put on a spring game, you got to do something like that. Kudos to Ole Miss for doing that and making it free to the public. And so not super exciting in terms of college football news, but you're going to get to see some practice video. You're going to get to hear interviews and stuff. And if you want to, you get to go meet your players and your coach as well.
Starkville, Mississippi State starts spring practice tomorrow, and Jeff Lebby will be available to the media after that practice. So we should maybe be able to have that video for you tomorrow on Sports Talk Mississippi. 3 practices this week. Somebody on the text line was saying that means that if they're doing 3 practices a week, that means practice would end on the week of the 18th. State always takes a week off in there, or at least they have under Lebby the past couple of years, where they won't practice for a week in the middle there. They haven't announced it yet, I don't think, but I am 99.99% positive spring game is going to be Super Bulldogs Saturday, which will be April the 25th. So you have a big day in Starkville if that's the case, with the spring game, the Mississippi State LSU series, and the Starkville Derby happening all at the same time. Not all at the same time, but on the same day.
Very cool. That busy day.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to make it, Hadad? You're not a coffee guy. Are you going to survive that day?
Oh, I'll be fine. I have. It's one of those things where if I know I'm going to have a long day in advance, I'm fine. I can mentally prepare for it. Yeah. It's when you hit me like the day before, like, by the way, we need you to do this from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Then you're going to get a little crankiness. You're going to get a little anger from old Brian Hadad on that. But you give me proper planning, proper scheduling, I'll be there all day.
So again, the spring game. Do we know for sure that it'll be a real game?
We don't know anything. We know nothing about it. And I'm hopeful, since I won't be there to ask questions, that somebody asks that question tomorrow when they speak to Jeff Lebby. Is like, what are the plans for the spring game?
I don't. Richard, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think you're getting a game in Oxford at all. I think the Meet the Players Day is going to be the spring football event for fans. That there won't be a spring game.
I don't know that one way or the other, but I feel like if there was going to be a Grove Bowl or a Red Blue game, if you wanted to go way back, you would have had that as part of the announcement.
Yeah, I would assume so. But I got to give credit where it's due, especially in this era where everything is just take more money, just add costs to everything. It would be very easy to slap a cost to this, whether it be like you have to be a season ticket holder or something like that. Good on you. Whoever made this decision, whether it was Pete Golding or Keith Carter or somebody there to do that, good. Because I promise you, because I've been that kid, there will be kids there that don't get to go see the team play in person because for various reasons, financial reasons or otherwise, that will get to go meet a player and they'll get a fist bump or something like that. And then that kid and his or her dad or mom will watch you guys play on TV, and they will see that player make a play, and you will have a fan for life. That's how it works, because hand up, that's how it worked for me. It was Will Boughton was his name, a linebacker at Furman. I'll never forget him being so nice to me. And they got a fan for life. That's how you do it, and good on you for not blocking fans out, because it's too easy to do that nowadays, and obviously the previous head coach had a propensity to do that, and not anymore, and that's a good thing.
Which he did make in fairness, though he got away from the spring game, They tried to make it fun.
Yeah, but this thing I think is better.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, a fan day for your fans is fun, whether it's in the spring or right before the start of the season or whatever. People like that. They like to be able to go and, for all the fun that people have made of Alabama and used to call it the running of the Gumps when they had their spring game. And
so what's the Ole Miss version of
big
that?
Numbers for that.
What's the Ole Miss version of the running of the Gumps? The running of the Chads?
There's not one.
What?
Nobody has a version of the running of the Gumps like Alabama did.
I'm trying to. I'm trying to take
so offended. Just laugh.
I'm trying to put loafer into something. The loafer lap. I don't know.
The loafer trot.
The loafer trot. That's not bad. Yeah.
Something like that. Somebody says, can you bet on the short, elongated dogs that will be in competition?
Well, you can bet on anything these days, but there's no official betting website as far as I know. So I don't know if I hope I'm doing color commentary again this year. I had fun doing that last year.
If you haven't been asked.
I haven't been asked yet, but
ain't happening.
But it's, I'm not too terribly. I think they may just assume I'm doing it.
Well, actually, I got an email from them the other day.
Oh, okay. All right.
And
absolutely not.
In the email, they said they wanted to improve the broadcast and figured that I would be.
And they called you? But they want Richard's number?
But I marked it as spam because I didn't think it was meant for me. But here, let me pull up the email right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I completely missed this. It says, "Hey, Borkey," is how they led the email. So it was totally meant for me.
Yeah.
And so I guess I'm.
What Nigerian prince sent you that? No chance.
I would have a great time and
you have a great time. I think this year I might try to go like derby it up. I didn't even think about last year like wearing derby attire. I just I think I wore the shirt I'm wearing right now, and I was like, somebody was like, "Why aren't you like dressed like for the derby?" So I thought about that. I might go buy a wacky sports coat or something.
You should.
I should.
Yeah, I mean, just like the ugliest plaid you've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, just horrendous.
And a hat. I need a hat of some sort.
And lime green pants, hey, Dad. I mean, really just...
Lime green.
Yes.
All right. Well, if I can find those in a 64 extra fat, I'll do what I can.
Yeah, that's not you anymore, buddy.
That's the old you.
We can get you some
54
lime green
extra fat?
Hey, Dad,
54 kind of fat.
The more I think about it, the more... Oh, here, you know what? I'm going to get AI to help me with that.
Oh, okay. Yes, yeah. Make sure you use the actual picture of me, though. People like that.
Yeah, I'm going to use a picture of you, and I'm going to get
in derby wear. Okay, I'm down. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell it. The prompt is going to say like make him look ridiculous.
Ole Miss, the seersucker sachet.
What is a sachet?
It's a fancy walk. The official Ole Miss thigh-high, too-tight khaki short sprint in loafers.
All right, I feel personally
attacked.
Golfer. I feel personally attacked by that.
What was his name?
Oh, Lasasso?
Yeah. It's wearing 1988 coaches shorts.
Somebody needs to tell
the running of the quarter zips.
The running of the quarter zips is good. That's good.
The Peter Millar Marathon.
These are all. I feel like this is like the Brock Landers Chest Rockwell Award on the Rewatchables. These are all great names.
All right, I just told AI to put this guy, and I sent a picture of you.
It's a picture of me. Okay.
In a completely absurd Kentucky Derby outfit. So we'll see what happens.
If I come back in a dress, I don't want to see that.
Oh, I should have.
No, yeah, I am. Please make sure that I am wearing male attire.
Man, that's your college football fix. Spring practice, though, it will. We're going to get some more college football news as the weeks go on because spring practice is here. Like Hadad said, we'll get to hear from Jeff Lebby starting tomorrow. So that the news will pick up on that front. But anyway, we're in the Pearl River Resort studio. Coming up next, Ole Miss head baseball coach Mike Bianco. His team lost a series at Texas, but they got an exciting one on Friday. We'll talk about all that with him when we come back.
From the Venable Glass.
Here we go. Sports Talk Mississippi. Here's more. Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. We go back again to the Farm Bureau guest line. Christian Ostrander joining us in the 3 o'clock hour. Brian O'Connor in the 4 o'clock hour. Now head baseball coach at Ole Miss, Mike Bianco, joining us right now on the Farm Bureau guest line. Coach, an unfortunate way to start this interview, but I would be making a mistake to not ask about the status of Cade Townsend. Obviously left the game with an injury. Is there any update that you can provide our audience as of this moment on your stellar pitcher?
No, I'm sorry. He's actually, meeting with the doctors as we speak, and I'm sure we'll release something either later tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, not anything different than I would have said, over the weekend. So I apologize for that.
Oh, not a problem at all. We understand completely. In his absence, however long it may be, who would you be looking at as somebody that could step up and get a weekend role?
Well, the good news is we got pitching depth and good pitching depth and guys that we believe and trust in. But that's when you lose a quality arm, if that was to happen like Cade, that's a big miss, even for one weekend. And so, but with that, you got guys like Taylor Rabe, Hudson Calhoun, Walker Hooks. I think are all guys that, competed, for a weekend job. And, as we got into the first weekend or two, you're not really sure. But those three guys had pitched so well, and the other guys had pitched so well in the bullpen, we kind of just let that roll for a while. So we'll have to see, what happens, tonight and what the prognosis is and what the plan going forward is, and then make a decision from there.
Let's flash back to Friday night. You're down 7-3, top of the ninth. It feels like your team's going to drop the first game of conference play. And then Becerra hits one. I think it may have landed in San Antonio for a grand slam. Coach, what did you learn about your team in that moment, specifically Becerra?
Well, just really proud. I don't know if we've learned anything different from Becerra, just because, he's arguably been our best hitter, from day one. And we've had some guys that have, gotten off to some really good starts, but none, better than Tristan, not just from a homer standpoint, but also, from just a pure hitter, a guy that a left-handed power hitter that handles left-handed pitching very well. So, with all that being said, I don't know if I've learned anything from him, but proud of the way our guys hung in there. The first Friday night at SEC play, for him to not just him, but for the guys that set it up before him. We had the bases loaded and actually got an HBP or walk. No, I think a fielder's choice. Not sure. Somehow we tied it up. Got one run before he hit the grand slam to put us ahead. So, again, just proud of the way we hung in there. And that happens. It's amazing, the SEC. I went back to the hotel. You have no idea. And how many teams won in the last inning on Friday night just shows you the parity in the conference.
I have yet to ask you this season about Judd Utermark. Had 6 hits again this weekend. He's off to a really good start this season. I'm sure you're not surprised by that, but is there something that you can tell us about Judd Utermark that we don't see when we just watch the baseball? What can you tell us about him, the person?
Again, I think, he's one of the faces of the program, if you will. But he's just, and I think people that follow us, there's been enough interviews and enough stories about him that he's just a super class act. He's one of those guys that he's his own man, but I'll tell you, he reminds me a lot of Tim Elko. Everybody will remember the last year of Tim Elko, but people forgot the first year where Tim was just a part-time player for the first few years in the program, but hung in there, competed, continued to work on his craft, and earned an everyday spot, and then became one of the greatest players in our program's history, and not just player but leader. And I think Judd is a very similar path, where a kid that had a couple surgeries early in his career out of high school, and then one after his freshman year here, but persevered. It hasn't always been easy for him, but he's a great guy. He's the same guy, which is maybe the biggest compliment you can give anybody. Regardless of the day, regardless of what's happened to him personally, and he's been a tremendous leader in our program.
Hey, that asked a good question of Ostrander earlier in the show about a football mentality. Sometimes fans will look at the result of one game or even one weekend and magnify it more than it needs to be. Is that something that you have to address with your team, that, hey, it was a tough weekend, you don't expect to lose any series because that's the mentality of a baseball team, but that, hey, one of the best teams in the country on the road, you got one, it's fine. Do you have to fight against that? What's your message to your team after a weekend like the one you just had?
Well, I think it's to remain consistent, and I'm sure Oz does this with his team. Is you got to be careful, and if you read the press clippings, the media, listen to the podcasts and all the things when it's going well, and you trust that all the roses are roses and the violets are blue. Then, when things are bad, then you believe them as well. When the people, don't understand that aren't in the moment with you and in the fight with you. And, again, you try to train your guys that, keep your circle, small, keep everything in the dugout, and, don't get too high, don't get too low, continue to, be yourselves. And I'm sure that's the message for, probably them. They had a tough weekend against a really good team like us. And, again, trust in yourself, trust in, the system, that your teammates and the other coaches, and you're going to be fine. And I'm not worried, about that part. I think our guys understand, everything that happened this weekend. We have to play better. We played a very tough league, and if you don't play well, you lose in our league, and we just didn't play well enough.
What is how do you improve, especially with runners in scoring position, runners on base as an offense? What are you guys doing to try to help your team along in that regard?
Yeah, you're the second or third person that's asked that this year. I don't think it's necessarily scoring position. I think that's probably false because we hit better with runners in scoring position average wise than we do our normal batting average. What we've failed at, and I think is where your question's coming from, whether the runner at third base is less than 2 outs. And we've had some bad weeks at that. We've had some good weeks, but we had another bad weekend at that. And you can't fail at that when you're facing the caliber of pitchers that we face this weekend. When you have opportunities to score, you got to move the ball. You got to get those guys in with a sac fly, a squeeze, a ground ball, something. You got to score those runners, and we haven't been able to do that. And some of that is to their pitchers' credit, but if you're going to be a good offense and you're going to be one of the better teams in our league, you're going to have to score in those opportunities. And so you continue to work on it. You continue to work on putting the ball in play and cutting down those strikeouts when those opportunities present themselves.
You got a midweek game tomorrow, moved up because of weather. Have you announced your pitching plans yet for Austin Peay?
Yeah, yes, we're going to start Owen Kelly, but obviously he pitched a couple times this weekend and in relief, and so only look for him to pitch in a short stint, and we'll probably look similar to what we looked on last Tuesday against Southern Miss, and we'll try to. I don't want to necessarily go as far as the 9 guys in 9 innings, but I'm sure we'll go through several bullpen pieces trying to get through the game.
Doesn't get any easier. A top 15 team coming to your place this weekend in Kentucky, and as you said, that's life in the SEC. But are there any guys that may not be everyday players in your lineup that are going to get looks maybe tomorrow or into this weekend that have not been everyday players to this point?
Well, I think we've done that. I mean, I think everybody has seen everybody. I think you've seen the bench. We have 16 position players, and most of the guys that haven't started, have been in there at some point. And we haven't written the lineup for tomorrow, so I can't tell you specifically. But I think that's happened throughout the first 5 weeks, and we'll continue to do that.
Coach, we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for doing this every week, and we'll talk to you again next week.
All right, thanks a lot.
That's Mike Bianco on the Farm Bureau guest line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. So
Borkey, they've got a Kentucky team coming in this weekend that went 3-0.
They're good.
hosted Alabama, won all 3 ball games. Nick Mingione's club is missing, I think, one of their kind of key pieces in the lineup, and yet they still found a way to get 3 wins at home over the weekend. It's a Kentucky team that plays a different style baseball than you see every week, and when it's at home, and it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so a little bit more of a compressed week, it's a big week coming up for Ole Miss.
No doubt. We'll be right back from the Pearl River Resort Studio. Sports Talk Mississippi. Don't go anywhere.
Here comes more Sports Talk Mississippi.
You ready, guys?
On Super Talk Mississippi.
Welcome back, Sports Talk Mississippi. We got this from CJ in the Delta. Hope Cade is not seriously hurt. Losing to the number 2 team is not a death knell, but the errors are glaring and the inability to advance runners. A lot of work to do if they want a postseason chance. And, Hadad makes jokes all the time about, it's too early, because a few weeks ago we were talking about those very things, and, we've got some dissension on the text line. Oh, it's too early. And you have years of Ole Miss being poor defensively. And for whatever reason...
It's just March 16th, I'm just saying.
And they had another, 5 errors again this weekend. They had 3 on Sunday, 1 on Saturday. Oh, so only 4 errors on the weekend, but that's 4 errors on the weekend. They are one of the worst fielding teams in the SEC, and that will cost them games if it doesn't improve, like we said weeks ago, and it, to this point, has not improved. And the situational hitting. I asked Mike Bianco about it, but... This week, they played 4 ranked teams, Southern Miss and Texas 3 times. They were 7 for 65 with runners on base. Their strikeout to hit ratio was 51 to 27. This is a team that situationally at the plate, they're not moving runners over, they're not taking advantage of opportunities, and that's why we've talked about some of the concerns with this team, is that's been them from day one this season. Pitching staff is good, deep, a lot of relievers. You've got a group of really talented bats that are hitting for average and power and all that. Not good in the field. The bottom of the order in particular is especially awful right now, and cost you a series this weekend. One that, you could have stolen from after what happened Friday, but they're still in fine shape. There's just, those warts are still there. They have not been removed yet.
And so what we've got here then is 3 good baseball teams in this state, but they have some flaws. For Ole Miss defensively, they've got some flaws, and then they got to figure out what's going on with Townsend. State's flaws, its bullpen. I don't think there's any question about that. The starting pitching this weekend was fine. Thomas Valenkas, SEC co-pitcher of the week. I thought McPherson was fine on Friday, and I thought Duke Stone was good on the game 2 start for Saturday. But in the bullpen, not only do they, I don't know if they have enough guys there, but I don't think the roles are as defined as you want them to be. Southern Miss, you look at them this weekend. I just feel like some clutch. It's crazy. They had the walk-off win on Tuesday, but then this weekend, Sundstrom getting rung up like that, you don't expect it. And then Saturday, they just 2 runs. That's just not enough to win.
There are a couple of guys that just pop off the page for you when you talk about Ole Miss offensively, and there are 2 guys that Borkey asked Mike Bianco about just a few minutes ago. It's Judd Utermark and Tristan Becerra. Both of them have an OPS, so on-base plus slugging percentage of over 1,200, which is off the charts good. Tristan Becerra is at what? 1250?
Yeah.
And Judd Udermark's at almost 1280. I mean, those numbers are just silly for the two of them. Colin Reuter got off to a blazing hot start to the season. He's cooled off a little bit. You'd love to see that bat continue to be effective in the lineup. You'd like to see the average come up a bit for Dom Decker. I think that's the guy that you would like to just plug in the leadoff spot and leave him alone, right? He's going to get on base. He's going to hit between 280 and 310, 320, and he's going to set the table for those guys behind him. There are a couple of guys that are everyday players right now in Hayden Federico and Braden Randall that have got to give you more. Hitting 238 and 224 respectively.
I've got 167 for Foley in front of me right now.
And that's accurate. And he's started 17 games. They've used Reuter as the catcher in some of the midweek games. And so that's why he doesn't have, 20 or 21 starts. Austin Foley doesn't have to hit 300. But you can't have him hitting at 167. And if you're going to have him at 240, 250, which is where you hope he gets, that needs to go with home runs that are closer to 20 than 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can live with the strikeouts and you can live with the lower batting average. But you can't hit 167 with just one home run to be a power bat in the lineup. Now, Austin Foley's been pretty good defensively, and that's one of the things that he gives you, and you've got to have that behind the plate. But if it goes along with a 167 average and only one home run, then you got to figure something out there.
Yeah, I mean, 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup is right now. This can change, but right now it feels like if that's who's up, just simulate the video game to the next inning. You're getting nothing out of the bottom of your lineup,
but when you do, you see results, right? I mean, if you go back to Friday night's game, you got a little bit of production out of the bottom of the lineup, and that set the table for Tristan Becerra to hit a grand slam in the ninth inning. That set the table for Judd Udermark's 4 hits to matter and not just be kind of, empty base hits. But that's when you do that, you get double-digit runs and you have a chance to win. When you don't, you look up late in the game and you're down 8-3 or 7-2 or whatever, and you realize you've got a really big hill to climb. So, they got some of that in the win. If you go back and you look at their wins, I think you'll see production. But if you go back and look at the 5 losses, you're going to see what you're talking about. Not a lot of production, in particular, from that part of the lineup.
Yeah. And it's only Texas, and I say that in a good way. You took one on the road against a top 3 team in the country. You're fine.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But this weekend,
win your series at home and don't get swept on the road. That's the secret in the SEC.
Every conference is the same way. Don't get swept on the road. Win your series at home. Find one sweep at home. Find one. And if you do that, you win 16 games. And you're probably going to host, especially in the SEC.
You're certainly in the conversation.
A March series shouldn't feel this important, but this is a really important weekend.
Who Rebels got this weekend?
They got Kentucky at home and then Mississippi State at home the next weekend.
That's Ole Miss needs to find a way to be 4-2.
Got to get 4.
Yeah.
If you want to be a host, you got to get 4.
Did you guys lock into baseball across the SEC on Friday night?
I was keeping up. There were some incredible finishes on Friday.
All right, so you got Tennessee-Georgia, game 1 of that series. Tennessee hits 3 home runs. They were up early. Georgia came back, took the lead, middle of the game, and then Tennessee scores 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, and they win. Kentucky and Alabama. Kentucky scored in each of its first 5 innings in that ball game and then held on for the win. Florida gets a leadoff double in the bottom of the 10th and a sacrifice fly to win 1-0 over South Carolina. South Carolina's starting pitcher gave up it was a no-hitter through 7 1/3, and Liam Peterson from Florida gave up 1 hit in 7 innings.
Yeah.
A combined 3 hits in that game, I think was the number. So Ryder Woodson hits the 2-run home run in the top of the 9th on Friday night for Mississippi State to take the lead, or I guess to tie it up, and then TJ Pompey hits the walk-off home run, and they set off the fireworks. Vandy led 10-4 against LSU, completely surrendered the lead, and then came back, got a run, and then got a 2-run walk-off home run from Logan Johnstone. Tristan Becerra hits a grand slam in the top of the 9th inning with 2 outs to put Ole Miss in front, only to see Texas score a run in the bottom of the 9th, and then Ole Miss win it in the 11th. Oklahoma A&M was a 1-run game, and Oklahoma gave up 4 runs in the top of the 1st inning of that game, came back and won it. And Auburn beats Missouri 2-0 off of a 2-run home run from Bub Terrell that came in the top of the 8th inning.
Great first day of baseball.
That was night 1 of welcome to SEC baseball.
We didn't mention them in winners and losers, but something wrong in Baton Rouge. Something's not right. Like,
did you see
the curse of the national championship is back?
They are not ranked. I'm sure we'll have Kendall on or somebody from D1 this week. When's the last time they weren't ranked?
A couple of years ago.
Were they not? Are you okay down there, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just putting my scorecard where I had all those notes that I had made back in my bag.
I thought you were keeping score on us here.
No.
I would be winning.
E6. Hey, Dad. Borkey, to illustrate your point about the difference in elite fielding in the SEC and then average to not good. So you got Ole Miss at 12th in the SEC with a 970 fielding percentage. LSU's the worst in the league. They've made 25 errors in 21 games. They're fielding at 964. Opposite end of the spectrum. On Friday night, Georgia made its 6th error of the season, and it was a catcher's interference. It wasn't even an actual error. They are fielding at a 991 clip. 6 errors in 21 games for Georgia.
You do that and you hit 70 home runs, you win a lot of games.
Yeah, also leading the SEC in hitting and home runs.
Back in just a minute to wrap it up. Sports Talk Mississippi.
And the Venable Glass trap.
What do they want? Exciting news.
Brace yourself. More Sports Talk Mississippi. Now.
Sports Talk Mississippi with you here on a Monday. Brian Hadad, Richard Cross, Michael Borkey. We got a This Day in History, gentlemen. This day in history, March 16th, 2006. Brian Hadad sat in the waiting room getting ready to become a father for the first time. So let's give a shout out to my daughter, Aislinn, 20 years old today. Aislinn, 316. Because she said so. Yeah, we're about to go grab some. Oh, yeah. Well, she's not much of a drinker, but we'll be headed to her favorite restaurant, which is the Mexican restaurant here in town, just as soon as we knock these last few minutes of the show out.
Oh, get her a marg.
Frozen with salt?
I mean, if she wants one, she can have one. She's only 20, guys. You know, I get. You know, we're not.
I was talking about you, not her.
Yeah.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
no, I'm
yeah,
not.
for
I'm
sure,
not.
yeah.
I'm not a marg guy. No.
She's only 20. She's never.
Anyway, I'm not a margarita guy.
Too. I just
so
never.
Yeah. I'll just I'll enjoy a 0-calorie soda.
Nice.
But happy birthday, Aislinn.
What's the
happy birthday?
Yeah. What's the feeling meter around state baseball after the weekend?
It's still fun. Well,
what are the vibes?
Hold on. You got and I talk about that with Ostrander, right? The football mentality, like they live and die with every pitch, and it's just, it's a long season, guys. The national championship team was swept at home by Arkansas and turned it around. So I think by and large, everybody, the majority of fans are like, look, what happens in the first weekend doesn't define your season, right? Would have been great to win one of those 2 games that you had a lead in, sure. But no, there's no need to worry overall. You got a Vanderbilt team coming in that, yes, they did take 2 out of 3 from LSU, but they haven't been very good this year. you should be able to win that series. And then you go to Ole Miss. That's a series that Mississippi State has historically kind of dominated the way Arkansas has dominated Mississippi State. So we'll see what happens in Oxford. It should be a competitive, good series, and whatever happens, happens. But I would think State's favored to win it and figure it out from there.
Obviously, big hopes.
Yeah.
For this Mississippi. And I mean, look, I guess after this weekend, Mississippi State slipped in total offensive production. Georgia now leading the league in hitting. Mississippi State, though, second, 338. Power numbers, not nearly as big, but a lot of extra base hits, 52 doubles for Mississippi State. I think that leads the conference.
That might be behind. I don't know how many doubles they had this weekend, but
through 20 games?
That would be right then, yeah.
Yeah, 52 doubles through 20 games, which is a really good number.
Mm-hmm. The home runs will come too. I'm not too terribly worried about it. So.
Yeah. Let's see here. Who's leading the league in hitting, like individually? Here's
it's some guy from Auburn. Bryce Chance is second.
You got to do it.
You got to scroll down and look at the actual how many at bats they have. He's in the 440s.
Brendan Lawson at Florida is at 429. Jake Brown at LSU at 419.
Is that conference only?
No, that's all games. Daniel Jackson at Georgia at 415. Tristan Bissetta at Ole Miss at 407. Trey Phelps is at 387. Who am I looking for?
So hold on.
Bryce Chance hitting
I'm looking at the
fourth. Okay, I sorted it by number of games started.
There you go.
So he's started 20 games. So there we go. 436 for Bryce Chance.
Brandon McCrane is the leading hitter in the SEC from Auburn. He's hitting 448. Chance is hitting 436.
Okay. And it was a weird way to sort on the SEC stats page. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Belk Ford, if you're in the market for a new or previously owned vehicle, they have got you covered. They got a great selection on the lot right now. F-150s, F-250s, Expeditions, tons of previously owned cars, great service department, and I've been telling you for, a month and a half now, if you had a vehicle that was a total loss in the winter storm, then you are eligible for employee pricing. They'll take care of you at Belk Ford. Great people. We have done business with them. When I say we, I'm talking about Hadad and me and Michael Borkey. I think we'll get there eventually as well. When he has that need, he's certainly going to talk to them. I have confidence that he's going to talk to them. And that's all we're asking you to do as well. Talk to him. Talk to him about what you're looking for, what you need. Let them help you out at Belk Ford and also at Oxford Toyota, Highway 6 West in Oxford, belkford.net, oxfordtoyota.com.
All right.
State hosting Jackson State tomorrow afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss hosting Austin Peay tomorrow afternoon.
Well, those are 4 o'clock first pitches. They have changed those times.
Yes. Yep, trying to get out in front of the cold weather. And Southern Miss playing Nichols in Biloxi tomorrow night.
Yep.
So they have not had to change the first pitch on that one, at least not as far as I'm aware. So,
good to have you back.
Thanks.
See you next week.
Yeah. Sports Talk Mississippi in the Pearl River Resort Studios, online, pearlriverresort.com. Thanks for being with us on this Monday afternoon. For Brian Hadad and Michael Borkey, I'm Richard Cross. Good night.
Oh, it's incredible!
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.